I mean, three-letter man, was you there? I'm going somewhere with this. Bear with me. Jae Millz, The Flood. Yeah, these are burned CDs. That's the era, people. What do we got here? Zone Out season preview. Jae Millz, The Time Is Now, the official mixtape. Look at this one. Best of Jae Millz. You know, it's a bunch. It's a bunch. Look at this one, Harlem Nights. You know, I had to do this right here to 40 Cal. I had to do this to Cassidy. I had to show y'all who y'all dealing with. I was there. That's my era. All right. But why did I do it for this particular video right here? You see, the title says it's Jae Millz most hated. That's a little mini bar, right? Most hated MH. Is he the most hated right now? Did the tide just turn on him? Is everybody turning on Jae Millz? Is he public enemy number one all of a sudden? The CDs are supposed to represent back then being a fan of that man's work. Me personally. Fast forward, battle rap. His return, let's say, right? Nobody has paid Jae Millz, as far as I know. Y'all could correct me out there if I'm wrong. Anybody can. Nobody has paid Jae Millz for a single battle more than myself and Rare Beat Entertainment. Nobody has promoted, presented, and pushed him as a new era battle rapper during that run of battles on RBE than me. Nobody. Okay. Nobody presented Jae Millz and fought for him on that stage more than me. And then when you move to him on beat, and the music battles and verses that's been going back and forth. Rum Nitty and B Magic and Jack Boy Maine and Goods and DNA and all of this with Jae Millz. I think I've done a pretty good job giving very neutral, unbiased, supportive at times, good takes as well in Jae Millz' direction, right? Yeah, I ain't got no energy that would seem for me, whether it's the mixtape days, on stage days, or on beat days, no energy from me that would say ARP has a bias. ARP doesn't like me. ARP is a hater. ARP switching up. So I just wanted to try to take myself out of all of that, what's going on, just to show this take right here is just me reading the Matrix. And I got 3 reasons why Jae Millz is going through what he's going through right now. And I also have 3 fixes. You know, and some people may disagree with even the 3 reasons as to why he's going through it. Some of this stuff, drop me a comment if you disagree. But let's start to walk through some of this. The first thing I want to pull up here is this tweet from Jae Millz. It says, "Oh, you small typo on your tweet." No, see, I know your shit. I know the lyrics. You got a typo. It's supposed to be now. Now all of a sudden everybody hates Chris. If you ask me, I just think everybody on my I said this on The Magician a few months ago. Seems to still speak volumes. The only issue that I have with a tweet like that, Mr. Jae Millz, it might apply to a couple people. It really might. But it's so generalized. Don't be like some of these other battle rappers that they create these pockets of bad energy for themselves by the masses. And they own no mirrors. Instead of looking in the mirror, instead of feeling or identifying or being smart enough to see or even accept, strong enough to even accept, if they play any role in this stuff, instead they reflect. They reflect. It becomes, it's not 50 people that don't like me for, you know what I'm saying, for these own reasons of what I give off. Instead, it's just a 20v1. Or it's not everybody just wants to bother me all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, because I did something wrong. No, they're all hating on me. It's not that everybody and their mother, well, no, I shouldn't say everybody and their mother, but a lot of these people have been in the end zone way before me. No, it's not that. It's because I have a pretty girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Don't give that off. Don't give that off generally, because the same way people could move you to the front, as you see right now, they will move you right to the back, you know. But we also have to be enough self-reflective to see, am I involved in any of this? Is this just random? Did I wake up one morning and people decided, hey, we don't like you anymore? No. So I want to go through a couple of tweets and then I'm going to get into those 2 lists. Bear with me, people. Let's go to some tweets first. Let's go back to Jae Millz' page. I saw this yesterday. I see some of this back and forth with Organic. All right, so I assume this is all starting based on some of the back and forth between Jae Millz and A Ward about doing an on-beat battle on Summer Madness, right? I saw the Jae Millz blog. I covered that. I said I thought it was a cool idea. I thought some good takes, about that. Very neutral, supportive as well. I think the consensus out there, though, from some of my peer bloggers and the fans, a lot of them is like, get that shit the fuck out of here. It is what it is, right? A lot of people is not big. I saw a take, I think from Chris. He said, man, niggas ain't clouded enough to do that. It's going to disrupt the matrix over there, and they would get too much backlash from other battlers and fans, etc. Blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, yeah, that makes sense, But back to my take on that. Remember what I was saying about, doing it your own. I'll revisit that in a second. But this Organic thing. So it's over the battle, right? And it sounds like Jae Millz, you were referencing, a prior offer, like I believe 4 digits to A Ward, right? And I think you said something like, if that's the only block that you actually, let me read this. I'm not battling on King of the Dot for the 4 digits that they offered me to headline the last card you did with them. So if that's your only block to hustle this on, I'll respectfully decline too. Nothing to see here. LOL. Keep doing your thing, though, my G. You probably think that this is a harmless tweet. And 9 times out of 10, it probably can be harmless. But it's completely valid for people to interpret this in an arrogant way, or for the people behind King of the Dot to take issue. So here comes Organic. Organic says, respectfully, any offer should be appreciated and not downplayed publicly. Was simply an offer and an opportunity to grow in a different country, which has opened a lot of doors for hundreds of others. Would never dog anybody for turning an offer down or for asking for more. But this premise is going to push people away for feeling comfortable or from feeling comfortable to make you any offer in the future. Regardless, all is good. Much love and respect. Okay. All right. If I continue down, a little bit of that narrative or some of that back and forth, I'll go back to Mill's page. It looks like this is Jae Millz' response. He says, no, it's not. You made an offer that was small for me to headline your event. Let me stop here for a second, people. And this isn't just for Jae Millz. We really, really got to stop overdoing this headline shit. Like, I know that's Jae Millz' angle a lot from Diddy, and he's got this thing. Even I remember for me too. He's got this thing like about headlines, and if I'm the battle rapper, if I'm the artist, the perception of it, the look of it, the prestige of it, I get it. I probably wouldn't be saying the same thing I'm saying right now, but from a business standpoint, and me just knowing battle rap, one of the most, as far as my knowledge of this game, I'm one of the top people that has knowledge of battle rap. I hate to come off like that, but it's just the truth, people. And me just knowing what I know, it's just like, this is being a little over, like headline. Like, I'm not paying anybody more because they're at the top of the flyer. I'm paying you more because you draw more, right? I didn't have situations where I was like, damn, do I need to create 3 different flyers because people have different interpretations of should they be A side or B side, top of the flyer or not. When I was trying to do the card that actually was the reason why Cassidy versus Hitman was created, a lot of y'all know the story. On that same card, I was trying to do Cassidy versus Rum Nitty and Hitman versus Briz. The Briz thing didn't work out. The Nitty thing didn't work out. So I took Cassidy, I took Holla, and I said, I want that matchup, right? But when I was trying to do the original idea, in my mind, I was like, all right, you got Cassidy, you got a Hitman separate battle. I'm going to make 2 flyers. One's going to have Hitman at the top. Another one's going to have Cassidy at the top. And if Mook and Hitman ended up ever getting booked by RBE, if I was still booking at that time, I probably would have in my mind said, I don't need neither one of these guys, looking at RBE a certain way. Create 2 flyers where one's the A side on this flyer, the other one's on the A side on that flyer. Even though Holla's the A side draw, you know what I'm saying? But I don't need Mook to get mad at me while he's walking around with a $50,000 deposit. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Give him his own fucking A side flyer. Like, I'm just really trying to tell y'all, like, don't overdo that, battle rappers or artists in battle rap. In the industry, I don't know. In battle rap, don't overdo it. Get your money, get on your card, show up, show out, put on, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. The fans will put you where you deserve to be regardless. And it might be a little bit too early. Main event, main event, main event, main event. I think the same things that really created narratives in your favor, you're basking in a little bit too much now. Let me save that. We'll get there. All right. But he says, don't try to spin a narrative so other people won't spend money with me because we couldn't figure out a way for me to accept yours. Stay blessed. Black gloves clapping. Organic says, was there a response to this? Oh no, that was his response. Okay. All right. I'll leave that there. I'll leave that there. Before I get into this 3 and 3, the 3 reasons why I think he's having these problems right now and the 3 fixes for Jae Millz. Business wise, it's two sides to it. Battle rap is far from the place where an offer, what you get paid, what you negotiate is so secretive. All right, it's used in good ways and bad ways. Sometimes it helps people, sometimes it doesn't. Surf publicly promoted all types of different negotiations and numbers, and I got paid this, and I do this, and a million times. Nobody complained, nobody cried about it, right? You got a lot of battle rappers. I get this, I get that. It's as far as organic's part of, you're gonna actually stop people from wanting to reach out to you. True and false, right? Well, actually, it's three answers to that. Number one, if you're a good league owner, if you're an experienced league owner, you know that everybody caps about numbers publicly. Well, 95+% of them, which means that you're going to get Surf, for example, and shout out to Surf. I'm just picking on real example. He's going to say, you got to pay me $1 million to get on that stage. But behind the scenes, it might be accepting 40 grand. You know what I'm saying, for the battle. But it looks good to present to the fans and to the public. You know, it's a smoke and mirrors industry, just like the entertainment industry. Okay, everybody's rich. Everybody's getting super top dollar. That person really took $500 to step on the stage. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, you could be the type of battle rapper where you don't want your time wasted. All right, some of the top drawing and top paid guys, they're never going to get called by these small those guys. They have a perception of a Cassidy or a Hitman or a Mook or a Lux. They have a perception of them, and in their mind, they're like, I didn't heard rumors, I didn't seen screenshots, I didn't seen blogs over the years. I'm working within a $15,000-$20,000 budget for my entire event. Why would I waste my time calling one of those guys? Right. So you save yourself wasting time from those type of calls if that's what you want. So that's two. Now let me go to the third one. But to Organic's point, there also is opportunities that might fit what people would financially accept that they might accidentally deter, because not everybody's going to go with that first point that I made and say, oh, I see Jae Millz tweeting like, yo, 4 figures. I need 10, 11, 12, 15, 20, 30, 40, or what I got for K-Shine and better. Some people might think that. Other people might be smart enough to say, well, let me try to negotiate, because based on where the market is, based on where I think Jae Millz is, based on his current activity, based on whether he's hot, whether he's not, let me give him a call. And if he wants to turn down my $6 grand, he turns it down. Speaking of when people is hot, me and Shotty will do that all the time, even with industry rappers. Like, we'd be in the middle of like negotiating or having conversations, like, let's say Crooked Eye. Shotty would be on Crooked Eye's Instagram and saying, let me see what bookings you've done. Let me see how much these flyers are. Let me see how much the capacity of this venue held where you did this showcase a month and a half ago. And you come up with what you think are fair offers, also to protect yourself, because somebody's going to tell you they want $1 million, even if they just got $50 from the last engagement. If you're paying the $1 million, they'll take that. All right. So anyway, you can deter. It might be good, it might be bad, and then you also got the facade. Those are the 3 elements to this type of back and forth. Okay. And if I did want to speak about the market a little bit more related to Jae Millz, of course, it's very hard to tell an artist or battle rapper what they are worth. Well, the league owners do it all the time, but generally it's not easy to do that. All right. Everybody has their own interpretations of what they're worth. So I'm not here to shoot at that. But let's just speak about the four figures for a second. Let's take it all the way towards like the end of the spectrum. Let's just say 9,500. Okay. Um. Is that a bad price right now for an on-beat battle, even if it's a headline? Let me use that. is 9,500 for Jae Millz on beat to do a back and forth with somebody? And let's use a big card that he says URL got my money, I think, right? Let's use a Summer Madness budget, URL, big card, main event, right? Even though Jae Millz, you said you know you're not going to be main event, but I'll still use it. Main event, Summer Madness, on beat. Is it worth 9,500? That is questionable. That is questionable, right? There's different ways that things are being monetized. If you are a main event, which you yourself said you don't have to be on Summer Madness, then yeah, you're probably somebody that's going to assume you're a big bulk of the reason for the pay-per-views, if it's being pay-per-viewed, for a couple further app subscriptions, if they get more subscriptions, or for the people walking through the door. If you're the main event, you're a big piece of that reason. I admit, right? Who are we kidding? All right, the hypotheticals to make the point, ARP, it's not going to happen. He would not be the main event on no Summer Madness. Okay, I don't know if Jae Millz would be the main event on any upcoming URL card unless he gets to a different level in the current day, today's fan perception of acapella battles, not beat. I'll save a little bit more of that for a second too. It wouldn't be a main event on many cards. Okay, 9,500. What Jae Millz is doing now, let me exclude the app subscriptions or pay-per-view sales for certain leagues or tickets being sold. Let me compare it to what Jae Millz is doing right now. Okay, because I have some videos. Let me share that I've done recently so we could look at today's type of ad rate. Let me hold on. Let me go to YouTube. And then let me go to, I don't even know who won last night's game. I fell asleep. Let me go to my channel. All right, let me share this. Because that's one thing that you can never argue is the numbers, right? Now, actually, I should have went to Jae Millz page first. I'm gonna go to Jae Millz page on the side. I'm gonna go to Jae Millz page because what I want to do is I'm making a point about what Jae Millz is doing on his own and the value that he is able to see in black and white numbers is coming from that. Okay, so I'm on Jae Millz page. The blogging that can coincide with some of these battles and topics he should be doing, continue doing his own either way, and that constitutes more monetization his way. All right, aisle 6, which was my favorite out of his 3 Rum Nitty tracks. It's 56,000 views. All right. Alien versus Predator Rum Nitty diss short film. That's 38,000 views. Easy Work is 76,000 views. Okay. The War for Rum Nitty is 58,000 views. I'm not going to go all the way back. I'm just going to go after a couple. The new algorithm Easy Diss is 74,000 views. All right. I'm just going to use those. The Easy to Block Captain, the Rum Nitty back and forth are the most current. And I'm going to take the top one out of all of those. So it's 74 with the new algorithm. And it's 76, same thing, pretty much with Easy Work. All right, cool. That's what I needed. If you come to my page, ironically, all of my biggest blogs are outside of battle rap. And that's what I would prefer. I'll use this one right here. You guys see my page, right? All right. I'll use this one right here. This one right here about Rodney Hinton Jr. 79,000 views, or the one about Geechee right next to it, 77,000 views. Okay. I know what I made off of this 77,000 view video. Now we're talking about the same views as Easy Work. All right. I would also say that my 77,000 view video made more, possibly significantly more than Jae Millz Easy Work 76,000 view video. Why? Because it has 1,000 more views. ARP, of course not. You get like pennies for that on YouTube. Because my video is 45 minutes long. And Jae Millz' video that is 76,000 views is 10, almost 11 minutes long. Retention time and watch time, definitely watch time on YouTube is king. So I'm pulling more ads in my sole video that has 45 minutes versus the 10 or the 11-minute video, right? And we have the same views on it. If somebody wanted to give me a video that had the same amount of time, the same amount of ad rate, the same amount of views to upload on my channel and ask me to pay them $9,500 for the video, I would decline. And Jae Millz, you can go look at your analytics for this and see, just if you're comparing what you do on your side, and there's another thing to quantify, which is your own expenses, right? Because the leagues have expenses to put these things together. For example, paying your travel, paying your opponent, paying into everything that comes along with putting on a stream, right? Or putting on an event. Hell, the pay-per-view costs tens of thousands of dollars for a big card, literally tens of thousands of dollars to do a big pay-per-view, the bandwidth of it, okay? You have expenses as well. I don't know if I could just say, let's just use the number 9,500 for your video, because I think I heard you. Don't overquote me. I think I heard that you take care of others as well. So let's assume, let's say you get the beats from Ron Browse for free. He's doing all these beats for free. It's just more so a look for him. You guys sharing in the moment, right? Cool. You got a director, you got a producer, right? I think you mentioned in one of your videos that you got to pay some of these people, right? Maybe a couple $100 or whatever. Let's say you're traveling around, gas money or whatever. Let's just say a nice even 8,500. Fuck it. And that's saying that out of everything you're putting together, the props, the staging, the people that's helping you, I know you do your own editing, the beats and everything. Let's say that all only comes gas money, all only comes to $1,000, which I think is still a stretch. Let's say 8,500, and we started at that later spectrum of it. We didn't say that 4-figure offer from organic is $5,000. So we start to have justifiable numbers that become logical from what you're doing versus what they would do with the same content. And then they have more expenses than that. This becomes a logical, justified realm of offer until proven differently by Jae Millz. Let's get more into the weeds of that. Let's get more into now the 3 and the 3. Here's the 3 reasons, Jae Millz, why it's everybody hates Chris. I said this already on my B Magic Diss. What the fuck? Fuck all. This is corny. Here's the 3 reasons why. The first one, some of the people that you're going back and forth with on and off beat. Okay, on beat, nitty, right? Nobody's ever supposed to feel a way about that. Let 2 people compete, right? But there are people that like Nitty so much, it's going to make them dislike you. A couple bloggers, because Nitty's a don't bother nobody type of guy. All right, shout out to Nitty. At least that's how he comes off, right? After that, Jay Black. You just learned that Jay Black, to a degree, is protected. He's earned it because he don't bother nobody. He just supports. He supports everybody, every league. Puts money in battle rappers' pockets, doesn't do events, but somehow he comes up with 5,000, 10,000 belts and hosts people and promotes and helps the leagues make money, and he don't shit on nobody. He does nothing but help, really, and add. He don't detract from nobody or nothing, and he's put in so much work and been here for so long. He don't really deserve a certain level of negativity. He's not perfect. Ain't no angel. I'm not saying that about any man in battle rap, but you see, your type of approach to Cody and to Jay Black and the way you called them out. Right? Third now on that list is Organic. Organic has played a very non-confrontational person. He's very respected for his business knowledge. He's respected, obviously, for being at the helm of one of the biggest battle rap platforms to ever come through the history timeline and King of the Dot, and how much they've added and done and innovated within the space. It's King of the Dot. You know what I'm saying? But Organic, he don't want to fight. He don't want to fight with y'all. You know what I'm saying? He gonna go through hell and back, even in certain times with certain leagues. He don't want that smoke. They don't want that smoke. You know, so the non-confrontational type of presentation that he has, it's going to rub people the wrong way with your type of back and forth, because he's justified for actually being at the helm of King of the Dot and be like, yo, dude, like, do we have to drag? Because that's what's happened. I'm not saying that Organic got an ego in this particular situation, but he's, and I don't know if you see it or not, he's indirectly being shit on. Let's gotta call a spade a spade. You are coming off like you are worth much more than King of the Dot offered you, and almost like anybody that offers you what they might have offered you is in the wrong, right? You're belittling the offer, and he's sticking out his face like on Twitter, in the Twitter world, like, yo, like, first of all, I thought it was a respectful offer, and this could help, and I could help you, and we got our own crowd over here, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You guys can have a difference of opinion. I'm not here to go fight between Organic and Jae Millz. You know what I'm saying? I just made some points earlier about it. It is what it is. I'm not trying to get in the weeds with that one. But you made him defensive with the way you are treating the 4-figure offer publicly. All right. So he's in the right to stick up for that, because he's got a reputation and a brand to protect as well, as far as the type of business that they could offer. Because the same way Jae Millz could feel away, Organic has a million battle rappers that probably want to stand on his stage that might just get an interpretation like, oh, they ain't paying no money over there because I just watched this Jae Millz blog. So you're putting him in a defensive spot. Okay. And so that's the third person on the first list. All right. The second reason why you're having problems, Jae Millz, just advice. This is what you're giving off. You're giving off entitlement. I'm just being real. Entitlement that birthed this wave that you have been on, right? Played in your favor at a time. That was the upgrade your resume. You ain't never done nothing. You know, like the approach that Goods and DNA and that back and forth and what they were rapping about as well, the culture went against it for you. You know, you were able to spin that in a, yo, I pioneered, I'm on the DVDs, and I helped Smack start Smack, and we gonna act like I ain't look up in the air and say, yo, Big, am I trouble or what? Like, and you made people respect pioneers and innovation and early people, regardless of whether you have yet to be proven in modern day YouTube era battle rap in an acapella battle. Regardless, you still got protected in that situation where people said, you know what? And everybody turned on Goods and DNA. And you then also took all that energy, and I'm not saying you didn't create it. The music still had to hit, so I want to give you your props. And you tried to continue to bury them with it. That store is going to be gone this year. Fuck him. Fuck him. You this, you that, you that, you that. And that every energy carried you into becoming what you self-proclaim the new algorithm. Okay? But it started, so it's funny, like I could do some of this for easy. It kind of comes off to the fans originally as humble beginnings, you know? But the entitlement now, and the entitlement, for example, the way you came off for Cody, it's just like the whole culture attacked you for that. And then Jay Black gets to do his response that makes you look crazy too. That's an entitlement vibe. I'm not saying that it was your plan. Like, I'm so entitled. Let me cut this camera on. That's how you came off for the Cody shit. The shit with Organic, you know, you're coming off entitled as far as actual numbers. And I gave you some perspective here on money and four digits, 4 figures being offered. You're coming off entitled with Organic. Summer Madness. Yo, Beasley, if you hurry up and call me. Now I know people thought they shit. You from Harlem. You know what I'm saying? It's not over my head. You know what I'm saying? I don't hold on to certain words. Trust me. But yo, Beasley, if you hurry up and call me, yo, Organic, if you times that last offer by 12, the fans not everybody has the mentality of like, oh, he's just talking shit. It's coming off entitled. It's just like Summer Madness. 12 times the offer, whatever the offer, even if the offer was $3,000, 12 times. You know how many of your peers ain't getting 5 times a 4-figure offer? Like, what? And I'll give you another entitlement one now, that because I can be wrong about the Cody entitlement, how you came off. I could be wrong about the organic entitlement, how you came off, or the Summer Madness entitlement, how you came off. I can definitely speak to my shit. You and I situation, in my opinion, is purely birthed out of entitlement. Now, I get it. I get it. From the rules of hip hop and these guys choking in front of you and all that. But when it comes to you and I doing business, right, and me choosing my cards and who's on the third card straight, etc., there's a layer of entitlement there. And then you see what happened after that between our business relationship. There's a layer of entitlement there. So these 4 examples, they don't create any mirror for you, homie. They don't create any mirror for you to be like, all right, I got a little bit of culpability in some of this. Or is it just everybody hates Chris? If you ask me, I just think everybody on my dick. Okay. I'm surgical with this bitch. But anyway. The third one, arrogance. I'm not calling you an arrogant guy. Just like the last one, I'm not saying that, yo, you're entitled, Millz. I'm telling you what you're giving off. And if you look around, you might say, maybe I could have worded this, handled this, blogged about this, and spoken on this and addressed this and had a different type of energy and not affected hundreds, if not thousands of people in a way where they're putting this on me now, on my jacket. The arrogance. Arrogance is it's fun when somebody is kicking ass, or they're at the top of their game and everything is clicking for them. Surf knows how to perpetuate arrogance so well sometimes and make it work. You know, it's Midnight Madness and all that. We the new Rucker. I'm just like, damn, I can't have, you stole that from me at my event. Damn. And then later on, you know, when things don't pan a certain way, it's just like I get to sit in the seat of like arrogant bastards, you know, or put me on some of Beasley. If you don't hurry up and call me in 12x this, the arrogance that you give off eventually turns people off. You will sit in a throne temporarily. Anybody can do it. Anybody could sit in a throne for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, right? To be looked at as a GOAT or at the top of the space for an era is a different story. It's not just what you're able to sell, it's the buy-in factor as well. People will buy in to your story if they feel it's legitimate. They'll buy into your personality if they can relate. They'll buy into the business if you have a good product. The Easies of the world, they don't understand that it's not just Jigga held you down 2 summers. Damn, where's the love? It's not just that. There's more that comes with it. If you're in a spot where I can create a video that's titled 20v1 and show 50 people having a different type of problem with you, these people never have a mirror. What are you giving off? What is your personality like? Or what are you creating? Or what are you doing? Or how are you carrying yourself that makes all these people turned off? It's never the other people. Everybody else is wrong. And Millz, you got a personality about you that in time can create a vibe of arrogance. I'm not calling you an arrogant person because some people might even feel a way about that. I'm not calling you an arrogant person. I'm saying that's what you're giving off. You're giving off arrogance. They like the when somebody is boisterous and talking they shit and cocky because that's new and that's fun and that's energetic and oh shit, he did this and he accomplished that. Bet. But to stay there in that spot for an era, you got to learn how to switch modes. You got to know how to get there and then be a good king, be a good leader, be a good new algorithm. You got to be a man for the people. You got to know how your personality cannot be abrasive, but instead relatable. And if people don't have it in their personality, the only thing that they can do is fake it. But the people that stay in these positions for eras, they're not faking it. It's really their personality and people can relate to them. Okay. So it's the people that you're going back and forth with. Like I mentioned, the Nitty, the J Black, the Organic. The entitlement that you're giving off, the examples of Summer Madness, Organic, Cody, and I could even use our fallout back then, right? And then the third one of giving off arrogance. Okay. And some of that is even in those prior examples. It's like people are saying you think you're bigger than the program. I didn't tweet it. Some of your bloggers are I'm just saying. Here's the 3 fixes now for you, man. Here's the 3 fixes for you. And when I say stuff like this, I'm saying it from a very respectful place, people. And when I do these about anybody, you know what I'm saying? When I talk about the fixes, and I am saying it slightly sarcastically because I'm smart enough to understand that when somebody has a certain type of personality, I'm not saying Jae Millz, there is no fix. All they can do is temporarily put on an act to try to win over people, win over the fans. But if you wait long enough, the real them will always come out if it's their true personality, to be abrasive, to be arrogant, to be a disrespectful type of person, to be a clown, to be a snitch, to be a liar, to be a pussy. It's just got to wait long. Those people don't last an era without that stuff coming out. Okay. Ooh, a couple other people's gonna feel like I'm shooting at them, but if the shoe fits, here's your 3 fixes. Ironically, I did a video recently. It said, "Don't be like Easy," and I was talking about the way you were presenting the on beat battle on stage. He was like, "Organic or King of the Dot, 12x me." And Beasley called me quick, Summer Madness. I don't got to be main event, etc., etc., etc. And I said, "Yo, dope ideas. I'll pay for it. I'll watch it if it ends up on Summer Madness or King of the Dot or any platform. If it goes back to Verbal Warzone, I'm gonna click play. I'm gonna see what Millz does in front of somebody on beat. Why not right now? Because he's proven enough to me to entertain and to have good product. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, but if it doesn't happen, what's all this boss talk that everybody's talking about? What's all these residuals and complaining about the leagues that's been happening? And it's like, hey, everybody talk a good one. Y'all gonna spend the money? You're gonna deal with the headache of like, let's say Calico, half your card not show up, huh? T-top, your whole card and the booking and the hotels and the flights and the diva shit and and setting up the pay-per-view and getting the people in the building and all the stress and the coordination. No, nobody wants to do it. See, I ain't bosses then. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Stop over asking for shit if you're not willing to take initiative on your own. Bosses? Are you sure? I'm speaking in general, people. I'm speaking in general. And that's why I was like, yo, do it yourself. What's it going to take for you to call A Ward, offer him a price, maybe 4 figures, offer him a price, maybe buy him a hotel and a flight and fly him in front of you and your camera crew that you've been using to shoot your soul videos, and just do that in front of each other on beat and upload it on your channel or sell it, put it behind a form of a paywall. What's wrong with that? You know, so that's still to me a fix here. Because even some of the back and forths that have been created recently, for example, Organic, you don't have to have these back and forths even about money if you're going to invest in yourself to do it and to become the full owner of the masters and the full leader and owner of the situation. Instead, we're going to argue online about an amount. So that fix still stands. Number 2, I said this idea months ago. My idea still stands. It's not for sale. Dude, take it and run with it. I predicted. You know what? Let me take a step back on this point. I had this conversation with Math once upon a time. I said, I love the My Expert Opinion platform. The only downsides that I would see, and he's not dealing with that right now. Math is doing what he got to do. Shout out to Math. Is the reliance upon guests. It's a great arena to be in because you get to present a different big entity or personality or celebrity in these different episodes. If you could get into that lane and stay there, how do you think Vlad makes millions? Okay, millions and millions of dollars. it's great to be able to sustain for, I like that I'm using like the era now instead of a period, for an era, the reliance and the working with guests. And you see Vlad behind the scenes, he's going to hell and back. He didn't had lawsuits. He always talks about if the feds ever come to him and subpoena him, fallouts with Ari Spears over money and Lil Boosie. And he's got a lot of shit that he got to go through when you got to rely on guests. But if you can sustain it for an era, keep using my era, millions. Let's take one of his comparisons, a Joe Budden podcast. They rely on themselves. That's it. Millions. They don't need a guest to come through there. They're still going to have the same Patreon, the same viewership, if not, and continue to grow. And I use math because I do feel like with the lack of my expert opinion having certain guests or influx of continued consistent guests, there is a small drop for math. And that's one reason why even me, I'd rather take years brick by brick and develop a core audience that appreciates my type of takes, because we all are different. There's people that'll watch me one time and say, he ain't for me. Then there's other people that watch me and say, I found the perfect blogger for me. It's in my comments. So like, there's people that found me from celebrity blogs or from battle raps and just be like, yo, he's the perfect blogger for me, for what I want to listen to 8 a.m. in the morning. I like those type of takes. I like his type of experience. I like the way he comes off, you know? And it's building around me. I don't have to wait for somebody else to show up to get on camera with me. I don't have to go drive down to a studio to collab with somebody. I can develop my audience on my own. Okay. So my idea that I presented in the past was like, yo, don't wait on a back and forth, because the DNA and the good shit was like organic. It organically happened. Now you see fans saying things like, you know, like you're battle baiting, or some of this stuff is going to start to feel forced. Somebody could tweet you and you might be like, we got to battle. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because if you're going to keep doing it based on like even what you said, like on Jazz and Geechee's platform, you know, you're just like, yo, why should I take a battle when I could just sit up in my living room or go shoot my, right? So if you're going to do that for an era, the example that I'm giving you for Vlad or for my expert opinion in a comparison to a Joe Budden podcast, etc., because we're talking about content. How consistent can you keep these opponents in front of you? How consistent is it going to be if you got to wait for an actual organic engagement? It's not going to be consistent. It's going to be fishing. Oh, got one. Nitty, let's go. And I'm not trying to say that you baited Nitty. Like, stay with me on the point, people. Okay? So my idea that I threw out there months ago, I said, just pick a target. And it doesn't have to stay in battle rap. You could expand your audience and your viewership by going outside and above and beyond. We're going to do coverage of the Stephen Diggs verdict on the other channel. Go over there right after you're done watching this one. I got some real good takes for you on this fucking bitch, this girl. But anyway, you could drop a verse dissing her. You could diss Young Thug audio comes out. Drop a verse dissing Young Thug. It's going to be, some of it could be controversial, but it's in the form of music and art. So we're supposed to be able to adhere to those hip hop rules. Some of those celebrities might respond. You might catch certain algorithms for that, you know, like real talk. And even in the battle rap world, which is small in the grand scheme of things and getting smaller by the day, unfortunately, you could pick a peer in this bitch too. Pick a peer. And you're going to get some backlash, but you got to have the skin for it and just put out your product. And if it's quality and if it's dope, some people will love and some people, but you'll have consistent content. Because to do it for an era in the current formula could be a stretch. You're going to run out of opponents in less than a year, buddy. Because it has to be a mutual engagement. Okay. And last but not least, the third one. And I said this one before too. What's coming back around and that you've stayed above the surface over for quite some time is still not having to have the full fan in modern day today respect or the respect from your peers on the primary, which is on stage a cappella. They're gonna keep saying that you're running from the stage. You don't want to battle, can't battle. Um, they're gonna keep hitting you with that. Your peers are always gonna have that angle. You have yet to, in this era, ever since you returned, get up there and give the fans one of them. Everybody has had to do it. Let's use somebody that you have a lot of respect for, Mook. Mook had to do it. We wasn't gonna let Mook sit back and just embellish over his Serious Jones performance. We wasn't gonna do it, or his performance versus you. We wasn't gonna do it. He came back versus Verb. Great performance. And remember how he left too, versus Iron Solomon, right? It was like, ooh. But then you come back and you have the Verb performance. Whether you got him winning or losing, epic performance to me. Epic performance. But Verb comes from that era too. So what narrative was around Mook's name for a while? Battle one of the new guys. By the time you see him on stage with people like Geechee and Twerk or whatever, it's erased. There's nothing that people challenge him. They just let him live within the moments now, whatever battle he has, win or lose. He's already garnered that respect from the Tay Rock battle, the Geechee battle, the Twerk battle, the Aver battle. It's like I covered the bases. And even Murder Mook had to go through that. They didn't let him just come back and be the logo. Even Murder Mook had to go through that. You haven't done that. The return battle was not epic, like his performance versus Verb. Your return performance, people still to this day, you say like, yo, y'all talking about battles 5, 6, 7 years ago. You're referring, and they're always referencing the K-Shine match. So then after that, the E-Ness match. I thought it was a good performance, but it's nothing that people are championing or running around with for you. Yeah, Big K. You had Jae Millz. Not the wildest things that people say. All right, we're convinced. Yeah, Geechee, not a good look on URL. And then you had some other one-off ones, right? On other platforms. Once again, they don't treat you like your acapella is proven yet. And they kind of want to see if you can be as good on stage acapella as you are on beat. And to be honest, what they're doing is they're giving you a third chance, because the bloggers and people, these stories are true of me calling bloggers like, yo, chill with that blog, man. I'm trying to promote him versus Ness or whatever. Give him a chance or chill with that. Like he's figuring it out, especially I'm fighting for Jae Millz behind the scenes with bloggers. These are all true stories, right? And now because of the on beat shit that you did, credit to you, they fuck with it so much. You got another shot to garner the respect on stage. They're not like, we give up on that. They're not. So your peers and the fans and the bloggers are going to get used to the on beat stuff they already have. They're not turning on it. They just got used to it. That's how time goes. They got used to it. It's like, all right, cool. It's not the new toy in the store anymore. So now when the question comes back again, because we weren't thinking about acapella, when it now resurfaces and you help it resurface by talking about Put Me On Summer Madness, now it'd be back on you. And it becomes a legitimate question. Are you ducking it? It becomes a legitimate question. I think you should, you can, I don't want to say shit. I think you can stay in your lane. I just think you need to present it in a consistent way, and you need to be careful with how you move in the culture. You do have your own platform. You do have your own voice. Like you said, you do more views than most of your peers or most of the bloggers. But as you also see, you still need all these narratives and these peers and these bloggers to back the play as well. You need support. You see bloggers breaking down like, yo, like you become the algorithm by all of these platforms, putting your name in these titles and in the metadata and talking about you. And you know this as well, because that's why you talk to the bloggers a certain way. You shout the bloggers out and you'll tweet, get mad, get mad, get mad. You're paying homage and you're saluting the people that are supportive, or you hope to remain supportive of you. And that's the thing to do. Alliances in any field of life is a plus. Only arrogant idiots want to walk around and present nothing I don't need nobody's help from nothing. All me. Nobody really wants to live like that. You know, they say it's who you know, not what you know, right? Well, you want to get into certain rooms and in certain places, you need alliances, you need help, somebody that can fucking push your resume to the top of the stack. You know how life goes, right? So you know what alliances, even what the bloggers do. You know that. You know that. So gotta be careful being abrasive in certain ways, but I can't tell you how to move. I could just break down why we at where we at right now.